All right, let's jump straight into this. We're looking at an analysis that makes a really powerful and frankly challenging argument. It says that the whole idea of mutual understanding with the Chinese Communist Party isn't just a nice goal that's hard to achieve. It's actually a dangerous illusion, one that's based on a complete misreading of how its power structure actually works.
Wow, okay, that's a heavy line right there. But the point this analysis is making isn't about trying to stir up conflict or hostility, not at all. It's about getting us to recognize a fundamental, structural reality, that the system itself is designed in a way that makes a true, balanced understanding basically impossible from the get-go.
So first things first, what do we even mean by mutual understanding in this context? And why does this analysis call trying to apply it here such a huge mistake?
Think about it like this. For any real, genuine understanding to happen, both sides kind of need to be playing on the same field, right? You both need access to the same information, you both need the freedom to act on it, and you both need real choices. These are the absolute ground rules for the concept to even begin to make sense. And here's the punchline. The whole argument is that the CCP's political system is built from the ground up to make sure those conditions can never exist. It's not a flaw in the system, it is the system. It's a feature, not a bug. So, if going for a mutual understanding is a big error, the obvious question is, why? Well, this analysis says it all comes down to a massive and deliberately engineered imbalance of power. It really starts with a simple question. Who actually gets to get close to the center of power?
Just look at how the public is walled off. Leaders aren't elected by the people. They just sort of appear out of this black box process that nobody on the outside gets to see. If you're an ordinary citizen, good luck even seeing a top leader speak live. It's almost impossible. On top of that, you have constant surveillance, watching where people live, where they go, who they meet with. Any way for people to organize is systematically shut down. That huge gap between the rulers and the ruled, it's not an accident, it's architecture.
Okay, that's the logical next question, right? If the public is kept on the outside looking in, what about the people inside the party? You know, the young, smart, ambitious ones. Surely some of them see issues and want to shake things up. So, where are they?
The argument here is that it has nothing to do with ideology and everything to do with cold, hard calculation. You want to get promoted? The rules are simple. First, your boss is the only voter who matters. Your career is in their hands. Second, your most important job is to not cause trouble. Stability is everything. Achieving great things is way less important than preventing bad things from happening. And third, the really big one, disagreeing with a policy isn't a healthy debate. It's seen as a political attack. It's career suicide. So what's the rational move for anyone who wants to climb the ladder? You conform.
And this gets us to the really deep mechanisms of control, because it's not just about promotions and rules. The system runs on something much more psychological.
According to this analysis, one of the most powerful tools in the playbook isn't just brute force. It's something way more subtle, unpredictable fear. And that word, unpredictable, is the key. It's the not knowing that does all the work. Here's how it works. Sure, the laws are on the books, but whether they actually apply to you right now is a political decision. You could do something and nothing happens. Your neighbor does the exact same thing and they get hammered for it. The rules feel like they're being made up as they go along. And every so often, the system makes a huge public example out of someone. What does that do to everyone else? It forces them to police themselves. You start to self-censor. It's so much more efficient but having a cop on every corner because you do the surveillance work for them.
This level of control goes right to the heart of information itself, which brings us all the way back to our main theme of understanding. I mean, how can you possibly have a mutual understanding with someone when you're not even operating from the same basic set of facts?
And this, right here, is probably the most powerful analogy in the whole analysis. When the party directs all the media, censors the internet, and can literally erase historical events from public memory, there's no shared map. It's like trying to negotiate in a dark room, but only one side has night vision goggles. You're navigating a landscape the other side can't even see. So, if the party isn't ruling because of a democratic vote or some set of shared values, then how does it justify its own power? Well, its claim to legitimacy, the argument goes, is built on a totally different foundation. It's all about performance. The argument isn't, you chose us, it's, look at what we delivered. It's a results-only contract. And here's the crucial part. This means you're only allowed to criticize the outcomes, like if the economy takes a hit.
But what you are never allowed to do is question the system itself. The process of how they rule is completely off the table for discussion.
Okay, so let's pull all these pieces together. You have this massive power imbalance, a system that rewards conformity, the use of unpredictable fear to control people, and a total lockdown on information. When you add all that up, what's the only logical conclusion? The conclusion is pretty stark. Aiming for mutual understanding in these conditions is dangerous. It creates these illusions that can get you into trouble. The illusion that you're dealing with an equal partner. The illusion of transparency where there isn't any. And the biggest illusion of all, that a real agreement based on shared values is even on the table.
So, what's the alternative? This analysis suggests a complete shift in approach. Instead of trying to understand or empathize, the goal should be to simply observe. Don't assume you share values. Instead, analyze the incentives and the constraints that are actually driving decisions. The focus shifts away from empathy and towards something more like strategic management. You manage the relationship based on what you see them do, not what you hope they think. And to be really clear, this isn't about being cold or hostile. It's about being realistic about the system you're actually dealing with.
And that, of course, leaves us with the final critical question. If careful observation is the right way forward, how in the world do you do that effectively when you're looking at a system that has been masterfully engineered, from top to bottom, to stop you from seeing inside? That's the fundamental challenge this analysis leaves us wrestling with.